Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coin Talks with the Hallenbecks. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Tom Hallenbeck.
And we're located here downtown Colorado Springs at our shop, Hallenbeck Coin Gallery. Today, we want to talk about
gold.
Gold has been a buzz lately in the industry. A lot of collectors recently have been buying up numismatic gold. But what kind of gold do you think you would be interested in?
Today we want to talk about the difference between numismatic gold and bullion gold.
Why would I want one or the other?
Well, numismatic gold is stuff that was never made to be saved. Imagine all these $20 gold pieces. These were originally made, they were $20, and they were meant to be spent. They were never intended to be saved as collectibles. So even though the mintages sometimes is in the millions, they're very scarce and nice grades because they were spent. That was the whole idea of them.
Well, with that said, I like to tell customers back in the day when these were made, the turn of the century, we call this the St. Gaudens design after the designer. This would get you a horse, a tuxedo, and a saddle. That's what $20 would get you back in the day. And that's why a lot are in a nice condition, the equivalent of thousands of dollars in a single piece, but it was meant as a transactional piece here.
Yeah, you got to realize also 100 years ago or more, $20 was a pretty good chunk of money. So a lot of the $20 gold pieces, surprisingly, out of all the 20s, 5s, 10s, 2.5s, $1 gold pieces, the 20s are the most common. And they're the ones that trade the closest to the gold value because they were saved. I mean, the wealthier people that had thousands of dollars, which thousands back then was a lot more than thousands today, they would set back a roll of those things and they set them back and they saved them. Whereas little coins like $2.50 Indians, the wealthy people wouldn't bother to spend or save them. They just spent them. So the $2.50 gold pieces, 5s, the 1s are actually a lot scarcer for the gold value than these the larger denomination coins.
Ounce per ounce, what type do you think is a better deal for you?
Well, it depends what your goal is. If you want gold as close to the gold value as you can get, you buy something like this. This is a kilo of gold. It's well over $50,000 worth of gold, but it's literally just a chunk of gold.
Just sits there.
Yep, and this is the same thing. This is a 1 ounce gold bar by Valcambi, Swiss. But it's just a chunk of gold. If you want gold for the gold value, just to set it aside, put it in your vault, in your safety deposit box, bury it in your backyard, this is what you want.
So this is really part of a cool American history. Now, tell me about confiscation of this gold.
Well, in 1933, FDR made an act making gold illegal in the United States. But numismatics were always exempt. These things were never confiscated from U.S. citizens. The gold bars, these were what you could not bring across the borders, and you couldn't trade those. If you went to a coin show before my day, let's say in 1955, you could walk into a coin show and there'd be piles of these things. My dad used to tell the stories that he could buy a $20 gold piece for $25. But $25 also in the 50s was a lot more money than it is today. But these things were never confiscatable, or they were confiscatable, but they were never confiscated by the U.S. government. So the ones that were saved the most were the 20s, and then followed by the 10s, and then the 5s and the 2.5s really weren't saved that many.
So right here with a green sticker, tell me about this. Why does it have that green sticker again?
Well, this is a coin that we sent into PCGS. It's a super nice coin. It came back as an MS64. And we said, man, that's a nice 64. So I sent it to CAC, which is Certified Acceptance Corporation, and they put the little green sticker on it. It means they really liked it for the grade. But it's just a really, really sweet coin. So if you see the green sticker on a coin, it means someone else, it was another set of eyes that looked at the coin, and they liked the coin too. So a lot of these that we've not sent in to CAC because, realistically, when you spend the $25 to do it on a $500 coin, $600 coin, is it worthwhile? It might increase the value by $25, $50, $75. By the time you spend the money and the postage and the time, it doesn't always justify it. On a coin like this, 1898 S $20 gold piece, it's not a 1904, it's not a 1907, it's not one of the most common dates anyway. And in this, if it was in MS65, it's like a $10,000 coin. So in this case, it was very pretty for the grade. So we sent it in and they agreed it was pretty for the grade.
Will this be on our website soon?
Yep, we're putting it on. Should be on the 1st of April.
Check it out.
Yeah, so
I'll
we
link
got
below.
Some $2.50 gold pieces. We just bought our little collection of them, a bunch of MS62s, 11, 12, 13, a whole series of different dates. So this is part of what we're putting on our website.
So let's talk about that terminology, Saint, Indian, Liberty. What's going on here?
Well, St. Gaudens the designer was Augustus St. Gaudens. That's why they called it the St. Gaudens. Basically, Teddy Roosevelt, back in the day, decided that he went to France through a boat trip, came back and thought our coins were ugly. He didn't like the Liberty. You're talking Indian head cents of the day. The Liberty head nickel, pretty bland nickel. The Barber dime, quarter, half. The Morgan dollar, the Liberty 2.5, 5, 10, and 20. And they basically all look the same, just different sizes. He said, I want the prettiest darn coins in the world. So he pulled out Augustus St. Gaudens out of the retirement, basically, and said, I want you to make the prettiest coin in the world. So he produced this coin, the St. Gaudens Double Eagle. It came out at the same time. They made the 2.5 Indian, the 5 Indian, and the $10 Indian. And then they also changed to the Mercury dime, to the Standing Liberty quarter, the Walking Liberty half, and the Buffalo nickel. What most people probably are the most iconic and beautiful coins that, if you look at a series, that ever circulated simultaneously at any one time.
Sometimes I hear the term incused Indian. What does that mean?
Well, the incused, the 2.5 and the $5 Indian, the most normal dies are struck and the coin, the metal flows up into the device. So it fills up that thing. When this thing slams down at however many thousand pounds per square inch, it slams it and the coin flows up. The Indian coin is the exact opposite. The die actually, the highest point on the coin is the fields because the design is actually stamped inward. So a little bit unusual thing that they did for a few years there. Some people didn't like it. It was not real popular at the time, and that's part of the reason it makes them scarce. But overall, I think today everyone agrees it's probably one of those beautiful coins the United States ever made.
Are there any other incused U.S. coin designs?
Nope.
So just the gold Indians here. And what about the rims? They don't have the traditional reeded edge, do they?
Yeah, they do. They have the reeded edge. They have a reeded edge on those. They don't have the traditional rim with the denticles. Usually there's a rim that goes, if you look at this coin, there's a rim that's raised and then these little knobs we call denticles on there. So the highest point on this coin is the rim or the edge plus the devices. On this coin, the only thing that's raised is if it's I don't have one here, but a 25D. The mint mark was added on later by punching it into the die, which means it was raised when the coin was struck.
So, in short, really cool pieces. They inherently have value for their gold, but also a lot of neat U.S. history, a change of design, pieces that were intended to be spent, and then a cool history here.
Yeah, and one of the things that's kind of neat is like the St. Gaudens or the I don't have an American Gold Eagle as an example. Some of these do not trade a lot over the price of gold compared to gold bars or bullion like Canadian Maple Leafs, Kangaroos, Austrian Philharmonics, American Eagles, American Buffaloes. All those trade at pretty hefty premiums. So you can buy some of these classic numismatic coin at not much of a premium over the gold. I mean, it's still going to be over the gold price, but not a monster premium.
Speaking of gold prices, are these pure coins?
No, U.S. gold coins were made of 90% gold. And that was number one, they didn't have the technology, go back into the 1820s or 30s or 40s, to make them 9999 fine gold. So they made them as pure as they could, and then they alloyed them. The standard in whether it's British sovereigns, Swiss 20 francs, American $20 gold pieces, is that most of all the world gold coins were made of 90% gold. What we call And the same thing in silver, 90% silver. We call it coin silver or coin gold, which is 90%. The modern ones, like this one, this gold bar, or even the American buffalo, the Canadian maple leaf, are all made out of at least 999 fine gold, and quite often 49s fine.
Great. If you have any questions, drop a comment below here. Give this video a thumbs up. Let us know what else you'd like to hear about. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
And have fun collecting.
Bye.